We are being recorded.
Yes, and hope you don't mind, but you're being recorded. It's maybe used in evidence against you. No, Tuesday, the 26th of July, 2022. Okay, I got a really interesting, I wonder if I can access it. Hang on. I got a really interesting, I can't, oh, it's okay. I'm just going to shove you up on a different screen. I got a really interesting thing about today, and I'll see if I can find it while we're chatting, because it's a numerology day. And I thought it was very interesting how we chose the energies and frequencies today. And this is, it's a 7/7 energy portal today. And I'm just going to see if I can screen share options. Come on, show me the options, please. Your options. What? It's share screen. There we are. Energy portal. Okay. Can you see that?
Yes.
July the 25th, energy portal, which was yesterday, of course, but it's today somewhere. Today's 7/7 energy portal presents us a beautiful opportunity to align with our higher purpose. If you read this, your angels are protecting you and supporting you to reach higher. The 7/7 portal opens the doors to good fortune and big rewards. The love you shared and money you spent is coming back to you multiplied. Yeehaw! How cool. So, okay, first, before we rock on into the frequency, high vibe world that we live in, I'd just like you, if you have anything you want to share about how you've been going this last week or so, and how you're feeling, and anything else you want to share, really. Okay, Mina, being you're off mute, I'm going to get you to.
Okay, so as you all probably know, it was school holidays. So for the last week of the school holidays, because I'm staying on the Ultimate Detox program for the rest of the year, I took myself totally off the program, like we used to do when it was fast track, where you then sort of eat basically what you want, but within limits. And yes, and I thought when I'm going to weigh myself after this week, I thought, oh my word, maybe I shouldn't even get on the scale. I was so scared. And yes, so I did put on 1.8 kgs, but I've managed to get rid of 1 kilogram again of it. So I'm now back on my drops and my healthy living style. My bags of cabbage that I've cooked this afternoon with my broth is ready. And yes, I'm back on track. And awesome. It's now again the start. I will make it 40 days. I think that's the way we did it previously. My husband is singing, I'm going to give you 40 days. So yes, so I'm now back on my 40 days. And yeah, I was a bit down over the last week or so, just because I miss my daughter in South Africa and my granddaughter, which I met when she was a week old, and I stayed, thank God, for 6 weeks, and then COVID happened, so I haven't seen her since then. Wow. So yeah, I struggle with the emotions around that, but I sit with it, I experience the emotion, and then I say, fuck off. Yeah. And then I let it go. And yeah, so I have this friend who's the school guidance counselor, and we went out on Sunday evening and we just had a sit down, and both of us just opened up so I could share. And she also said that's what she does. She just live with it for a moment and just rock the feeling and then let it go. So that's basically me. And then, of course, the start of the school term. Oh my hat, I can't help thinking back. The previous time we had a flood, the kids went home that Monday, and the Tuesday we didn't have school, and then the Friday lockdown happened.
Oh,
So that opened those emotions again yesterday. But today I'm okay. I've got
good.
my red coat on, and yeah, I'm back to my happy self.
Yeah, good. It's quite a challenge, isn't it, at the moment to keep
It is.
everything positive, and the weather's a huge contributor of that. I know, yesterday we got totally stir crazy. And the
Yes.
dogs and the humans alike, it was but there's so many things we can do to keep ourselves good, and that's the thing, is just concentrate on that, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah, awesome, wonderful share. Thank you very much, Mina. Awesome. Tanya, I'll grab you so Deb can finish eating.
That's all good. Hi, team. Yeah, so yeah, I had all of last week being bad because I went and stayed with my girlfriend down on the Coromandel, who I haven't seen for like probably 2 years because she lives in Johannesburg. So she was just home she's got another 2 weeks and then she leaves again. So that was awesome. So we got into our artsy fartsy hanging out. Oh my God, it was so good to hang out with someone who just loves me as I am and has never judged me and doesn't try to fix me, doesn't try to tell me what I should or shouldn't do, just hears me. And also, I'm able to offer her that space. And these last 2 days, I'm back on. So I put 3 kgs on. Boom.
Whoa.
Information. Really obvious. But today I'm back down 1.5 because I jumped back into my drops and things. But so I got the art teaching job.
Yeah.
But it's bringing up overwhelm and unworthiness because it was going to be 5 days for $500. And for me, I can't afford that.
No.
I just can't really survive on that. I can do 1 day relief teaching and get $300. And I know for me, it's bringing up unworthiness on such a level because I do journey work for free. I do stuff for free. I'm like a giver. And yeah, on some level, I'm like, yeah, I said to them, basically, I can't do it. I can't afford to do that. So they've changed it now. So it's 2 days in the afternoon for 2 hours or an hour and a half, 2 hours. And I get $300 for the 2 days. But the amount of work and the amount of time and I've been really frustrated with the whole computer thing because it's online and it's just, oh my God, it's just been like, okay, so looking at my vibration and the evolution, I'm like in a really fucking hard space. And maybe what I'm thinking is this hard space has to fucking happen for, I'm really uncomfortable. I've been uncomfortable in all this shit, right? But now I'm really fucking uncomfortable. So hopefully it's before the birth of something good.
Yeah.
Because it's fucking not good.
Yeah, I can.
I'm on the verge of tears.
Yeah.
It's like far out.
So, okay. So if we look
that's just where I am at.
Yeah, emotionally, have you asked yourself what this is what your soul's telling you?
Oh, I'm absolutely devastated and heartbroken at how misunderstood I am.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah.
It's something really big for you, Tanya. It feels like you are close to
a breakdown.
A huge shift. Let's call it a huge shift, Tanya. A huge shift.
Fuck, it's just fucking not good.
No.
But thank God for ultimate detox, because now that I've had 2 days on that, I'm back into my exercise. I'm back into my routine. I'm eating better. But yeah.
It's really quite interesting, isn't it? When we do step out of the zone, when you're in a routine, a rhythm and routine that feels really good. When we step out of that, how much it can throw us off. And we don't realize it as we're doing it because it feels good, you know. But when you look at the longevity of feeling good when you're on these things, that's what makes you really think, is it worth it? Is it worth it? And I can put my hand up. This was quite a few years ago when I'd been on a sort of program for a long time because I had fatigue and stuff. And so when I put myself on the program, I started to feel much better. And then things came along. But the thing is that I'd got myself into such a good position that when I did eat something, and it was gluten, and unfortunately me and gluten do not go on real well.
Yeah, that's me.
Is I was in bed for 4 days. And it was a real lesson for me that it's not worth it. I can get my buzz from other things. And I think, you know, that was my lesson. And I think, you know, it's the same emotionally and spiritually as well as physically, I think, you know. So gaining clarity for where you're going, Tanya, it feels like you're this close. It feels like you're really, really close. And maybe, just maybe, you need to step back away from it and look at it as a bird's eye view. That's all I got told. I'm not allowed to say anything else. I'm not allowed. My guides won't let me say anymore. So, yeah, because you
Why
know.
not, guides? Come on, guides.
What they're saying is you know, Tanya. You just have to.
Yeah, well, and it's like, okay, so I'm not going to make much money, and that doesn't feel fair.
No.
But the only reason I'm doing it is because I feel like there's got to be there's something in it for me.
Yeah.
I just don't know what the fuck it is.
Yeah. You'll find it. You will.
Or not.
No, you will. Yeah. So, sorry, that was just my husband coming up to pick up your broth, Deb. Okay. Thank you very much, Tanya, for that share. That's awesome. Deb, okay. Anything you want to share about this week or whatever?
I suppose my situation's quite similar to Tanya's in that it feels like most of the work I'm doing at the moment is for love, which in itself is quite a transformation for me, given that I've been trying to generate my own income for years, and been very focused on abundance and, you know, bringing in what I deserve and stuff. And nowadays I'm doing pretty much everything for love. But as long as I'm always creating, it doesn't seem to bother me. And I'm still creating, you see. I'm working in the freedom movement, and I'm creating new ways to fight back and new systems and new ways for us to be and things like that. So I'm quite rejuvenated by the work I'm doing. But I have definitely come to a point where I'm not doing it for free anymore, and I'm not going to feel guilty about taking koha or charging tickets or that sort of thing. So I've been quite busy in the last couple of weeks running workshops, and they've gone down really well, and I've had really great feedback. And and I've said yes to another one. Although every week I keep putting my faith back in, you know, universe, God, what have you. It's like, is this workshop going to run? Are we going to get people for it? And the next one I'm doing is actually being hosted and organised by someone else. And I'm already feeling like, oh, can I be bothered? Because I keep putting off what I've been telling people, which is I'm going to focus on me now. So I've given you guys the tools to do that for you, and now that's exactly what I'm going to be doing for me, getting my house in order. And yeah, I'm still busy with projects. It's not quite happening. So why is that? I've just got this real block, and you know, I've committed to this program next 40 days, and you know, the things that I've committed to that I said in that video were things about pampering myself. Haven't done any of that. Haven't done any pampering. And I'm still busy as ever, and the place still looks a mess. So what am I doing? There's a block there.
There
for
is.
me, and I'm not beating myself up about it, but it's something that I've always had. I've always been busy. I've always had too many things on to keep me busy and distracted and off myself. And I know that I can acknowledge it, but I'm not stopping doing it, and I don't know why.
Do you give yourself time to even ask yourself that question, though, Deb?
No,
and respond to it?
No. And part of me, it's almost like this conditioning of just become used to being busy, and you know, with a young one around as well, you're just used to just always being in demand, and someone wants something from you, and so that time just doesn't come unless I'm about to fall asleep or I'm just waking up.
Okay. Well, yeah, you already know.
Yeah,
just like Tanya,
I
you
know.
already know. And the thing is that it's all about you making you priority at some time, you know. I mean, yes, you've got your family and that, but you need to make some time out so that you can, even if you just allocate an hour, you know, to you time. And
an hour.
A whole hour, Deb, a whole hour. Yep, you can do it. You can do it. It's just, it's about, it is important, you know, because otherwise you can't actually give anyone else what your potential is. And so that's what I think it's the most important thing for you, really. And I know that I've been very guilty of not giving myself enough time and being busy, but now I'm learning, you know, work in progress, as they say, work in progress. And I think, you know, now I do take time out and have a sauna, and I do take time out and do the things I love, and which is going out. Like today, we went out walking for at least an hour and a half. I just made sure I did, because I had to make up for lost time. So, and the dogs were going stir crazy anyway, but it wasn't just for the dogs, it was for me. You know, the dogs are a good excuse to go outside and walk and everything else, but it's important to find, I mean, you were doing the gardening and things, and I know that topped you up, but that's probably gone on the back burner with the weather and everything. So, you know, it's
well, we're also not near it.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Had to move the boat because, so it's just been, things have come up that have taken me away from that. And, you know, and the weather and Morgan being sick. I haven't even got, my poor dog hasn't had a walk for 2 days. You know, we've all been stuck on the boat. So it's been,
Must have been pretty rocky too.
Yeah, it was. There were things falling over last night for a little while.
A bit. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. We were thinking of you.
Thank you. Could have done worse.
Yeah, trying to calm the waters down, but I don't know what good we did, but who knows. All right. Okay. So frequencies. we're going to have an open discussion here because there's only 4 of us here. So we might, if you want to unmute, and then we can just have a chat. The thing I would say is, when I say frequencies, what does it mean to you? Anyone?
Well, I immediately think of the frequencies that I'm listening to.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if I told you guys previously, I spoke to one of my year 11 boys. I said to him, why are you so grumpy and tired? And he said, oh, Famina, I can't sleep. And we started talking, and then he was sitting in front of his computer, and I said, open the angel frequency healing there on your computer. And he did. And I said, now tonight, when you get to your bedroom, I want you to leave your everything outside, but have whatever you listen, your music on, but don't listen to your music, put that frequency on. And I gave him the little website link. And the next morning I was on duty by the gate, and he literally came skipping past me and he said, I slept all night and I feel like $1 million. So I think frequency is that. For me, frequency is also the feeling that you get.
Yeah.
You know, the feeling something's off or something's good, or this is the right moment to talk about something. That's also a frequency for me. It tunes into your gut or whatever it is that gives you that feeling. So that's frequency to me.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely.
I was going to say that I would describe that as alignment, you know.
Yeah.
If I'm in alignment or not with what's around me or who's around me, or yeah.
And I think, you know, if we're in a sort of a vibrational mismatch, that's when we can just feel like we're in chaos. And it's this chaotic soup that goes around. And that's when, if we're surrounded by people who aren't aligned with us and who maybe negativity but we don't match, and that's when everything feels off. And I think today I just wanted to talk about how we can keep our vibration as high as humanly possible without allowing everything else around us to knock us off our perch. And because I think that's so important, you know, because if we can feel in alignment with ourselves and our soul, then our vibrations can only rise and can only stay in alignment. But when we have people, places and things around us that are constantly in a negative space, that's when it becomes challenging. And I've been in a workspace where there's negativity over there doing gossip, and then there's all this sort of anger going on in there, and it's just it just feels totally alien when you're in a good vibration. But if you are involved in the gossip and you're involved in the anger and everything else, then you feel comfortable, and it's sort of comfortable in your uncomfortableness, I think. And so so we know that negativity can affect a room, you know. We know that long-term negativity can really affect a person. You know, negativity can be caused by alcohol, drugs, being surrounded by people who are negative, and all of those sorts of things. So how would you think about just one thing come on the top of your head? What can you think about that you can do to protect your own energy sphere? Tanya.
See, I'm all about truth. I'm like, if someone's saying or doing something or talking in a way, or I kind of, if it brings up an emotion in me, I'm like the uncomfortable truth. That's how I've been describing myself lately, because I am so in an alignment with my emotional self that it makes other people really fucking uncomfortable. Because even today I'm in the supermarket and I'm talking to a lady and she's saying, oh my God, the prices are terrible. I'm like, yeah, it's ridiculous. I said, when is this stupid shit gonna stop? And she's like, I can't believe it. Everything's gone out of control. It's gone crazy. And I just turned to her and I said, I've lost my job because of all this stupid shit that's going on. And she goes, what were you? And I said, I was a teacher. And then the emotion comes out, and it just comes out, and it's not good, it's not bad, it's just emotion, it's just what's coming through me. I don't necessarily judge it. It's like it is a frequency, and it's valid frequency, and it's like I'm way more, my partner said I'm way more graceful.
Nice.
Lovely.
Nice.
But yeah, so I'm just like, I'm not putting up with any shit anymore. I can't be fucked. I haven't got time for your fucking shit. If someone's in my space and they're carrying on about stuff that just, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm like,
Okay, that's cool. You're doing the truth through that. That's your way of keeping
I'm
your
just
frequencies.
speaking my truth, and I don't mean to offend or upset anyone with my truth. It's just my truth.
Yeah. And yeah, we all have our own truth, and we all have our own way of delivering it. And I think, yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? Okay, Deb, how do you deal with?
Yeah, well, with a frequency change, what was the question again?
Good question. How do you combat keeping your energy high when you're surrounded by people who might be negative?
Yeah.
Can you, just off the top of your head, it's just.
So if I notice, I try to notice a trigger more. So yes, I'll recognize the emotion, I'll recognize the rise in me or whatever, however it triggers me. And then I've been noticing lately, I've been starting to laugh at it from this, I've got a higher perspective than you being right in this moment right now. Do you know what I mean? So I'll notice, I'll react to the initial reaction within my body, and then I'll kind of laugh at it, and I'll see, there's a, like, I'll see that there was intentionally they were trying to get a rise in me or something like that, and I'll take the opportunity to sort of laugh at it and go, okay, I could deal with this in more than one way, and I'll choose a different way. That's not to say that I don't still explode. I mean, the other day out in the pouring rain, and we just got wet and it was shit, and I just lost my crap as we were getting into the car, and stormed off to take a trolley back. But as I was doing that, I was just like, okay, Deb, so just breathe now.
Yeah.
And when you get back to the car, you'll be reset. And that's exactly what I did. And I didn't have to have a conversation with anyone about it. And everyone in the car, being my husband and son, weren't even affected by my little explosion either. So that was interesting, because that was actually all quite energetic,
It's
so
a really, really important thing to remember, is that we are humans having a human experience, and we cannot go through life being light and fluffy and everything's fine, because otherwise we're not going to learn anything, are we? And so it's like with Tanya, you saying that you come through and you go through with the truth, your truth. But the thing is that you're actually being the teacher again, aren't you? You're teaching. It's part and parcel of who you are. And we need people like you who can say that, And we also need people who can explode and get stuff out. It's like, my son went to a Steiner school, and he was what they call a sanguine personality. And so that means he explodes. You know, anger comes out, but what happens with him is it goes out, and then it just's gone. He doesn't hold on to it.
Mm.
And I think, you know, that's what, because if you have anger, which, let's face it, we all have that at this present moment in time, is if we express it, it's not actually stopping our frequencies from being high. You know, you get it gone, done, all done and dusted. And I think, you know, that's what I'm really, really focused on, is on a regular basis, is checking in with my frequency, because I can only affect my frequency. I can't do anyone else's. So I just check in with what I'm thinking, because I've got a history of negative self-talk, you know, low self-esteem, all of that sort of stuff. Don't have it anymore so much, but the more I sort of check in with myself and find out where I'm thinking, the better I'm getting, if you see what I mean. It's sort of like the more I'm aware of what I do and what I have done in the past. And it's quite interesting because having Catherine staying with me during the detox has been really beneficial, because I didn't realize how much I said certain things, you know, that are quite negative.
Like what?
Like, oh, I hate that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't really hate that, but it's still a frequency, you know, it's still a word. And there was a few other things, which is really cool to have it pointed out to me, because, you know, now I sort of check in and go, oh, I haven't said that for a few days. It's good. I haven't been saying that. And so the more we learn about ourselves, the better our frequency becomes, I feel. And so, Mina, have you got anything you would like to put in before we continue on?
Yeah, once again, it's difficult for me after teaching for 37 years not to think as the teacher, but I think because I need to very often be the influencer of emotions in my daily life. What I do with the children is I put them in a circle. And then we start off with light and easy, and then we go into the emotions. And everyone in the circle has got the opportunity to talk. And you may only talk when you have a talking stick in your hand. And that works very well. For myself, it's incredible how this last 40 days on the ultimate detox, how I grew from getting annoyed with people, and because I'm the head of maths and the dean, I can't really be honest in how I feel. So I need to think about how do I now tackle this person or the problem, being it if it's a teacher. So I've got my office and I play my frequencies in there. And luckily, I've got time to just be alone in there. And very often by listening to the frequency, I come up with a solution. And the wonderful thing is that I've been so busy with all the different roles that I take on at school and having a full day, that when I went over the holidays on Friday, I'm also the timetabler. I went to school to go do the timetable, and then the principal informed me that because there's 130 year 9 students under my dean, they've decided to give me someone to support me in my deaningship. So it means that I will have someone that I can say, do this, 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 and this for me. And that's going to lighten my load by 50%.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, and I didn't ask for it. It just happened. So, yes, so I'm sure that the frequency was just right. And by me not exploding and saying anything, but going into my office for downtime with myself, that actually happened as a result of it.
Yeah, so basically your power of manifestation has ramped up.
Yes, yes.
So I think, you know, with our frequencies are our frequencies, and they're our responsibility. Just like our health, our home, every part of us is our responsibility. No one else can take responsibility for us. Even though sometimes it might be nice to be able to think that we can, but we can't, you know. So we literally have to check in with ourselves and make sure that everything is the best it possibly can be at that present moment in time. And I think we're always a constant state of improvement for me anyway. I'm always looking, right, what can I improve with what I do today? And it's always good to have feedback. You know, it's really good with, you know, talking to you guys, because you tell me what it is, and if it's not right, then we go and we change it. So that's what I was sort of thinking.
The term that I'm using at the moment, and it's been in my head while you've all been talking, is radical self-responsibility.
Oh,
Yes.
that's nice.
Yeah, I like it too, because I'm dealing with a lot of people who are trying to move into being more sovereign in the world, right? And to be sovereign in the world, you've got to take it. That means you are radically responsible for yourself and your own words and actions, and you can never be for anybody else. So the only thing you can take full responsibility for is how you've reacted or what you've said, or and so that's almost to dismiss anything that this other person or whatever the conflict situation might be. Forget about it, like take it completely out of the equation and only deal with how you've reacted or what you've said. It's just completely radical self-responsibility, and it takes away all the noise, and you get straight to the issue, which is always internal.
Always.
Isn't it? It's always yours.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, things can trigger you, but it's always our stuff that it triggers. So it's like you know, putting blame on someone else, because
yeah, we can't do that.
No, not anymore. No, I think, you know, thing is we personally, I think all of us who have been going through this ultimate detox together have grown so much over this period of time that we don't have the excuse anymore to have a lower frequency for any period of time.
Right.
So
right.
I think, you know, it's what I've sort of started to do is create an affirmation that resonates for me. And I'm going to recommend that you create an affirmation that resonates with you. So mine is, I am perfect right now. I create all positive aspects of my life and let go of all that doesn't serve me. Now, I do know that I'm going to have stuff come up, but it doesn't mean to say I don't believe that affirmation. You have to create an affirmation that feels true to you. There is no point in saying, I'm a multi-millionaire and I'm blah, 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 because we're not. Well, I'm not. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not. So I'm sort of like, I'm a human being doing the very best I possibly can do at this present moment in time. And I think that's all we can possibly do. And so, yeah, it's been such an interesting journey, and I'm really grateful to you for joining me in it, because I think it's been a big learning curve for me, and I know for many. And so it's, yeah, and I do believe it's the best I've come up with so far. Not going to say I'm not going to come up with anything else, but you know, I think it's like an amalgamation of stuff that's just fun. And I think, you know, having fun with it as well. And I think fun, laughter is one of the best things you can do to raise your frequency. You know? And one of the things I recommend for people to do is to go and watch a funny movie or a comedy series or a comedian, or if you've got someone who you really like. I'm a big fan of people like Michael McIntyre, Billy Connolly, and all of those sorts of things. They make me laugh. And is it because they're taking the mickey out of things? Probably, because I think we should all be able to take the mickey out of whatever we like, as long as it's normally themselves, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you
Who
know.
was it again? It went all funny for me. My internet was a bit unstable.
Michael
Who was it?
McIntyre and
Oh,
Billy
Michael
Connolly.
McIntyre, okay. Oh yeah, I love Billy. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
great.
yeah. So especially in the early days, I think he was incredibly
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
anything else you want to talk about with the frequency and stuff?
I've started playing, play fighting with my son. I suggested that to him that we start the day like that, have a bit of a tussle and a tickle and I mean, we sort of were a little bit for a while anyway, but not all the time. And so he loves that. And we've started singing more. In fact, the other day I put on my headphones and I was singing away. I'm absolutely loving this Alanis Morissette "Thank You" song at the moment. And I was singing at the top of my voice, had my headphones on, and my son had to take himself out of the room, lock himself in his cabin, close the door. He's like closing the door, like, "Sorry, mummy, but it's, you know." I want to watch something, you know. And I was like, "Doesn't matter, I'm going for it." And it came back out about 10 minutes later saying, "I can't get that song out of my head now."
Oh, yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah. It's funny about songs, isn't it? It just come into your head and just, yeah. Okay. So anything you would do to knock yourself, if you go into a funk, anything you would do to knock yourself out of that funk? I mean, I use my affirmation, but anything else? One thing that came up in my feed today was, I don't know if you've heard of binaural sound technologies. They're basically where I'll put a link in the Facebook group because I got it through my feed today. And it's basically you wear earphones and you have a different frequency coming through each. And it's a bit like, it's not a self-hypnosis, but it's a sort of similar thing where it helps to entrain your brain frequencies. And so it's really, really interesting. And it's been used for quite a long time in alternative, well, you know, in real healing. And it's sort of like it's been used for, I've heard of it for the last 20 years. So it's probably been around for a lot longer. So definitely worth looking at. You know, you've got the solfeggios and your angel music and all that sort of stuff. This one sort of takes it to another level. And what I found is when you first start listening to it, because it feels quite discordant. So because you've got a different sound coming in each ear and you're not like stereo. And it can feel a bit uncomfortable until your frequencies are entrained. And then as your frequencies are entrained, it feels normal. It's really quite interesting. And it's a bit like, and I don't know if you know, but I don't know when it was. I think it might have been in the 70s, where they literally changed the frequencies of modern day music. And I can't remember what I think it was from 425 to 400 or something. Yeah. And it was really discordant. Tanya, you probably know more about this than me.
Oh no, Jason, my partner's all about that.
Yeah, because I have a feeling that, you know, with your singing bowls and the sound therapies and things, I think is going to be a huge part of your work moving forward. And I know you do so many different things, but it's really important. Yeah. Sorry, hang on, go. Yes. No. Yeah. Sorry. Needed to know whether the dogs have been fed or not. So yeah, so it's really quite an interesting binaural. So they're quite interesting. And
do you know if that's similar to is tomatis? Have you heard of tomatis?
Yeah, that's working specifically on frequencies for the ears. So it's really good for kids with learning disorders and also deafness. So I think she's the lady who does it here in New Zealand. She comes from South Africa, I think, or she comes from, and tomatis has been well used a lot. But unfortunately, here in New Zealand, it's so expensive, you know, to have sessions that make it worthwhile.
Yeah.
You know,
I've got a lady up here though that does it. And,
yeah.
And And she's been working with some families, and now she's invested in something else, which means because they have to go to her and spend an hour or so with her in order to use it. And she's just invested in something, another piece of which will enable us to do it. So we're going to do it as a family, because it's really helped another family in terms of actually has saved their marriage,
Wow.
which is pretty incredible. And I'm really fascinated to do it for Morgan because of a speech impediment. But it's about balancing the brain and therefore can balance emotions and.
Is that Ingrid?
As well. Yes, it's Ingrid.
Yeah, she's very good too. The thing is the equipment
really
actually Thomas's equipment is so expensive that they have to charge for it, and that's the problem. And that becomes the problem for. I mean, I know she loved to be able to do it for free for people, but there's you got to live,
Yeah, you do.
And so so it's it is really interesting, the Thomas stuff. I think Morgan would get a lot. You probably whole family would get a lot out of it.
Yeah,
so,
I think we will. I'm really excited to do it.
Let us know how you get on.
Yeah.
So it can be things like that, but it can be really simple things like having I put a post up a while ago about the spider plant and how good energetically they are. But having plants around your home can actually positively charge your frequencies. And essential oils and everyone knows about meditation, but just the simple things, really. It's the simple things that can raise your frequencies. And also, can you hear that dog?
Yeah.
That's my son's dog, and he's gone out.
A frequency for us.
Yeah. So she's moaning because he's gone out and left her. Yeah. So that's why Simon thought she wanted feeding. But really and truly, she's pining.
Oh.
She's such a cutie. But she's not unhappy, really. She's just making herself known. Yeah. I'm here and I need your attention. Yeah. So, yeah.
Who is it? I missed who it was.
Evie. Adam's dog.
Oh, Evie. No,
Yeah.
Evie. Oh, yeah.
So
is Adam back and out of hospital?
Oh, he didn't stay. He went to outpatients, so thank goodness. We had to wait around for a bit. The interesting thing is, I don't like hospitals. I have a phobia of hospitals.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is because nothing happens for no reason. Poor Adam had to go through what he went through for him, but also I had to sit at the hospital for a reason for me, because it helped to release some old stuff around hospitals. Now, my sister, when she was born, had a cyst that was in her throat here, and she spent the first year of her life on and off in Great Ormond Street Hospital, which is like the starship of hospitals in the UK. And we used to go there sort of every weekend, really. It was an interesting hospital because they had the most magnificent rocking horses. Oh my gosh, they were huge. So I used to like that. But the rest of the experience I hated. I hated the energy of it. I hated the whole thing. And so no wonder I disliked going to hospitals. And it's interesting because when Simon and I moved back we were living in Australia, and we moved back, and we'd travelled via South Africa. We went to South Africa for 2 months and spent all our money. So we were broke as when we arrived back in the UK. So we took the first job that came up, which was working in a pub just opposite Great Ormond Street Hospital. And I realised then that there was a big reason why I didn't like hospitals, because we used to, I went sort of like, we used to have all the surgeons that used to come at lunchtime, and they literally would get their spirits and go, doof, doof. And I thought, these people are responsible for these little children's lives.
Oh.
And they're drinking huge amounts of alcohol.
Oh.
And then I realized, well, energetically as a child, you'd pick up that these children are in danger, you know. And that's what I felt. And so that actually really helped me this weekend work through that and let that frequency go. So I'm not saying that I'm ever going to go to hospital, but I now know why. I remembered why I hated them. And
So did you feel that it was safe for your son to be in that hospital?
no, but he wanted to go. He wanted to check out what had happened because he knew he damaged himself. And he wanted to know whether he'd broken it or whether he had sorry, that's Adam there. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Hang on. I'm just going to sorry. And so isn't it interesting how he calls when we're talking about him? And so yeah, I don't like him going to hospital, but the thing is that he's a skateboarder and he's had a few injuries. And so he wanted to check to make sure, because he thought he'd dislocated it. So he thought he needed it put back in his shoulder. And so he just wanted to check. So no, I don't actually feel that hospitals are safe at all. But he wanted someone to go with him. And I wasn't going to not go with him because, just in case of the jab and everything else, So yes, it was an interesting.
Sorry, guys, my internet.
You've gone. We can't
My
see
internet's
you.
really, really bad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, if I can see you if I take my video off.
That's all right. We know you're there, Deb, so it's all good.
You are lurking.
Can hear you.
Yeah.
You are lurking.
Okay, so I'm going to give you some homework. Homework. What I would like, I'll put it up on the post. So is write down how you're feeling right now. And do you think that something you think about on a regular basis might be holding you back? And others around you could be impacting you in a negative way. Then I would like you to create a positive affirmation and to let us know of any habits that you feel are helping you to raise your vibration. So,
oh my gosh, can you repeat those?
I'm going to put this up. It's all right. You don't need to write it down. I'm going to put it on a post. So I'm going to put it on a post straight away. So I don't forget. This is before I get the video done, because what happens with the videos is I go to YouTube, a bit like Deb with your internet. Is my internet at some time of night it just seems to go blah, doesn't want to load.
Yeah, because everyone's watching Netflix.
Oh, that's probably it. So I go onto YouTube to download it, and it won't let me download, or it downloads so long. It takes so long to download, so that's why it doesn't go up on the same night. So what I will do is I'll put those questions up on a post,
okay,
so you don't have to write them down, because writing down when you're on a call is a bit of a tedious, isn't it? So yeah. So yes. So just remembering that when you're at your highest vibration, then your life will feel totally magical. Everything will work well for you, and you will attract amazing people and opportunities into your life. So it's actually working on your frequency more than whatever you think's challenging you. And that's for everyone, really. Me included, we're all working on stuff, So, yeah. So I'm just going to stop recording.